All right, team. Brand new build today on Twitch. We're doing a TIE Fighter. I'm very excited by it, although I just realized it's like sticky tape shut, so I just need to get a little nice knife to open the edges. All right, looks like I'm doing this manually. Anyway, kids are not here today. They are inside doing other stuff. So I decided I'd jump out here and build a TIE Fighter. Yeah, I love TIE Fighters. I mean, I don't like the Empire, but I do like TIE Fighters. All right. This bag, pop it up here. There we go. We are building TIE Fighter. Looks like it's a 3-bag build. So this should be relatively quick. Fingers crossed. Assuming the kiddos stay inside. And crack on and get through this. Anyway, that angle's a bit off. Let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. Is that better? Now you can't even see the... All right, that's better. That's a much better. I'm going to now, from now on, tape the floor so we can see what's going on. And it's always in the right spot. All right. Star Wars build in isolation. I am rocking my isolation gear. One might say spiffy. Some might say lazy. Doesn't matter. I'm comfortable, and that is critical. All right, bag one. We're going to build the pilot to begin with. I classically, when building with Lego, adopt the 2-bag method. I put one bag in one bucket, and I put the other bag over here in this bucket. And then, whoop, don't want to lose that. And then we get building. All right. We're working on Star Wars head. And then we need legs. And we need a shirt. There we go. Boom. Head. Boom. Look at the angry face on the pilot. Yeah. Should have a second camera going, but I don't. It was confusing me when I did. All right, there we go. Star Wars cat. My little man. He's ready to go. All right. Should actually give him the pistol if we're building this appropriately and correctly. Here we go. There we go. Now he's got a gun. Little guy. He's got a little gun. All right. Now on to building the cockpit. I don't think this TIE Fighter is going to be a particularly complex build because, the way the Empire design stuff, they were all kind of specialist ships. So they had to pull them off a factory line. So it's very clinical, you know. You don't see that with the other ships, like the Millennium Falcon behind me over here. It's a much more complex build, you know, because it's a rebel ship. It's got to do more. It's not designed for one specific purpose. Right. I am now working my way through step 3. I mean, it's moving quick. I'm going to pull these bad boys out. There's a lot of big pieces, so sometimes my strategy doesn't particularly work well on the bigger pieces, but on the smaller pieces, the little bowl works well. There we go. It's coming together pretty well. Boop, 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 boom. There we go. You lose your spot. That. Ooh, these are the guns. These are the things that shoot out the laser bullets. They go either side. And they're like bi-directional. So it doesn't matter which way you put them in, they work. Which is helpful because they look the same both ways. All right. So that. Now we're going to put the top on it, which is basically 2 of these. One. And we're going to put the other side on. 2. All right. And then we're going to build. All right. Oh, the clicky in bits. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Now we put the little red lights on it. You know, like that. There we go. Look at that. Fancy. Silver front. There we go. Ooh, okay. Now we add these parts over here. It's a rather I always find these Star Wars builds are like perfect for Lego, you know? Yeah. Here we go. Oh, just jumping on Instagram as well, you know, being a social influencer and such. There we go. Duncan here, building a Star Wars TIE Fighter. Pretty excited for a Saturday. Rocking my Udi. All right. This we are. If you've just joined us, we're on step 8. And we're just, you know, we're working our way through it. You know? Got nothing else to do. Valgard, good to see you, my friend. Just building some Star Wars Lego. Check that out. Yeah. You know, the country's put us into lockdown, so I just figured I'd jump on here and build some Lego, hang out with some folks. So, how you doing? You going well, big guy? I love you too, big guy. Straight back at you. I miss you, man. How good are the suns right now? Are they not amazing? Seriously, I love them right now. So So good. I seriously wish I was in Phoenix right now. I'm like, I am beside myself. But you know when you're so excited for something, but you're trying to play it cool, you're like, it's cool. It's just game 2. We're 2-0 up. It's not a big deal, you know? You're just going through the motions. Don't get excited yet. We haven't won it. First time, though, potentially in the histories of the Suns franchise that they win. That would be incredible. I'd be so pumped. Anyway, g'day to everyone who's jumping in. I'm literally just hanging out in my Udi, building Lego. Look at this bad to the bone thing. All fluffy. Hey? Just been told that we can't even leave our premises unless it's for exercise. So I was like, I've got Lego to crack on with. So my wardrobe is fine, Phil. Look at this. This is good. There's no problem here, all right? It's a comfortable outfit, you know? It's not like I'm going to go out in public anytime soon. Oh, man. I'm trying to shop. I said to Carly, if Phoenix wins the NBA Finals, I'm buying all the merchandise. I don't even care. The last time we were here was 93. I was 13 years old. My voice broke and I got hairs on my chest for the first time. And then it's been a drought for 28 years. They're back here again. I'm excited. So, I mean, you obviously can't tell from the outfit, but I am. This holds in all the emotions. It's like a giant hug. The whole family's got one. So, anyway, what's the rest of the team up to today, by the way? Let me know. Charles is on in her hoodie. I'm on 2 different screens right now because I'm a social influencer. So if you're on Twitch, you're getting a different view to this if you're on Instagram. Obviously, if you're on Twitch, you get the full on-suite of what we're working on here. Again, building Star Wars TIE Fighter. But Benny, later in the week, let me show you what I'm building. Hold on. Look at that. You want to talk about an isolation purchase? That's coming up. And the kiddos are not in with me today either, Charles. So, TIE Fighter now. Later on, we'll get to the Ecto one. Anyway. What's going on? Is anyone else building Lego in isolation? Is anyone else having a crack at it? We are kind of working our way through making the canopy for it, I guess. The cockpit. Cockpit, yeah. You're telling me, Benny, it's real nice. Yeah, you could do that, Charles. If you had Instagram going and Twitch, you could see the whole kit and caboodle. It's pretty sweet. So that goes there. The kiddos right now are inside playing Fortnite and some other stuff. Peace to you too, Balgard. So here we are. Step 11. I've slowed down considerably. So there you go. That's where we're at. This is the minifig that we built. He's the ship, the pilot. How good is that? All right. And so we're just working our way through it, you know. I seriously adore TIE Fighter builds. I don't know what it is, but they're really fun. Although I've lost my place. That one's done. That one's done. And then, have I made a mistake here? They need to be back further. Made a mistake. Mum saw me in a nudie this morning and was furious. She does not want one. She thinks they're disgusting. So, although she was meant to get a new kitchen built today, and because of, restrictions and stuff, we're not really knowing what she's doing. She might be in the chat now, honestly. Mum kicks around in these things. She loves social. Oh, man, I miss being on Hope 103.2 as well. It was a lot of fun for the season I was there, but it was time to move on. So, anyway, here we go. And then that grey one goes in there. There we go. What's everyone else up to today? As we plug along. Charles, are you doing well? What's happening? What's happening on the Twitch stream? You guys all going well? Red bit goes on top. When you're home with the kids full time, not allowed to go outside, you've got to carve out little sanctuaries. And obviously you can't lock yourself in a bathroom for 6 hours a day because the wife catches on and the children catch on, honestly, as well. I mean, as daft as they can be sometimes, they really do know what's going on. And this is the office. And so I've just retreated here quietly. What I found is that you've got to move like a ninja. Don't do anything suspicious, but just you disappear off with a little bit of purpose, and suddenly you find yourself building Lego by yourself and enjoying the quiet of life. And I like that. All right. So the goal here, obviously, is to get the whole thing done. Can we watch Black Widow on Apple TV? Because that came out today, didn't it, Charles? Is that... Because I can't go to the cinemas, right? So I'm assuming that I'm able to just download it from somewhere. Can you let me know? What's the goal there? Does anyone else know that? I know that I watched the new one, the Chris Pratt one that was on Amazon Prime, The Tomorrow War. Very good. Very, very much in the genre of Independence Day. Of course, it did come out on Independence Day, and so they probably the reason why it was that. Oh, you watched it last night on Disney? It's on Disney. Well, I think we've got a movie to watch today. Fantastic. Reviews without spoilers. Please leave them in the comments. Good. Just thumbs up, thumbs down. Honestly, I just need something to fill 2 hours of the day. So, got to load it up with stuff to do. Okay, so now I think we're making more of the cockpit, which involves a few Technics blocks, 3-port Technics blocks. So, if this is your first time, by the way, to the stream, it's slow. Oh, you got to pay for it. $35. Seriously? To watch Black Widow at home? Emoji, worth it. I'm in. All right. Not a problem. Feels like a lot of money to watch a movie at home. We do popcorn. Does anyone do that? Every time you're having like a movie night, my daughter is like, popcorn, please. And so we have to go and make popcorn. And so anyway, I recommend The Tomorrow War. It's not for kids. It's definitely more of an adulty type movie, but it's good. It's action. It's mindless. It reminds me a lot of the Fast and the Furious in the sense of, there's not need for a whole bunch of story. So, just building, by the way, for those who have just jumped in, building a TIE Fighter. I have pork crackling that you do in the microwave. Oh. I walk by those, I went to the delicatessen because I was cooking pizza last night. And when I was cooking pizza last night, I think my stream just dropped. There we go. I was cooking pizza last night and I saw the pork crackling in a packet at like the delicatessens. And every time I see it, I think that looks amazing. But I feel like I'm ballooning out with weight in this lockdown. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, maybe I give that a shot. The old Black Widow, will rent it today and check it out. Yeah, listen, Tomorrow War, Charles, you got to watch. It's worth watching. It's just go in knowing it's kind of independency. But here's the thing, is I don't like a whole bunch of movies where I have to think, you know? I don't mind them occasionally, but like for the most part, I just want to sit down and have some fun when I'm watching a movie, you know? It's probably why I'm very terrible for movie reviews, because I'm just like, I liked it, didn't have to think, it's good, you know? It's like Fast and the Furious, like why is Han back from the dead? Like how did that happen? It's like, I'm not thinking that. I'm just thinking family. That's all I'm thinking is family, because that's what Dom says. I don't want to have to fill in the plot holes. Yeah, listen. Charles, that there is a perfect combination, isn't it? Pork crackling and Udi and a movie marathon. Yes, please. Be so good. All right. So we've made 2 of these, and these are going to go either side of our cockpit, which is here and here. Boom. We've moved forward. I mean, maybe it's just me who's excited because I'm building it, but that's fine. The only challenge, I think, with the Star Wars builds is there's a lot of grey. There's a lot of grey on the Imperial stuff, and there's a lot of white on the Rebel stuff. So it's monochromatic, but that's the whole point. Ooh, missed a piece. That could have been costly. Be one of those hard ones to come back and fix later on, you know? So, here we go. Charles, have you been building any Lego? You working on any projects? We finished up Hedwig the other day, and Hedwig turned out a treat. This was definitely one of my favorites. Let me grab it. Look, little crossover here, but look at the Hedwig. You twist, and he flaps. Isn't that cool? I think that's really impressive. Anyway. Reminds me of the Yoda build, which is here. The Yoda build behind me, it was like, the Yoda build was like just a sea of beige. It took forever. Oh, Jamtown's in here. Yeah. Hedwig flaps, and then later on, because this is literally all I'm doing, I'm going to build Fawkesy from Harry Potter as well, who also flaps. It's going to be a flaptacular build. All right. Oh, I'm sorry to hear work's been crazy busy, Charles. It's I'm actually trying to think of creative ways to engage the church community. So we're gonna do a little bit of Zoom catch-ups over coffee just to see if we can get a little team bonding going, you know? So that'll be a bit of fun for next week, because I honestly thought we were just going to be in lockdown for 2 weeks. But here I am in an Udi, not shaving my face. Building Lego. That's how you know you're in for the long haul. Still, lots of fun. Boom. Coming together. I reckon the pilot is sitting in here and this clips on the front. I'm just going to call it now. That sits there for sure. I don't know. I'm not at that step, but that's my call. Yeah, I think Zoom coffee meetings is probably going to be helpful. I think the hard thing is you get stuck in a rut when you're in isolation, you know, and you end up doing the same thing over and over again. And so I'm just trying to creatively figure out ways to kind of get outside of that space. And especially like, you know, there's a number of single people in the church, and, you know, like I don't think it'd be much fun sitting at home, especially if you kind of have a tendency to get depressed like I can sometimes. You know, like how can we just connect more? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I'm just like, let's just hang out. There's no rhyme or reason behind it except let's have a coffee together and chat over Zoom. And you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But if you do, it'd be good to see you. So we're going to do that with our fam next week. So, hey Zoe, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Just building my TIE Fighter. The kiddos aren't invited to this one, or they don't know that I'm in here. Either way, I'm happy. I lost where I'm at. There, that one's step 25. All right, here we go. I love these little complex fiddly ones. I built something the other day with Carl's, and she wasn't a big fan of the complex little fiddly bits, but I think they give all the details to the Lego build, really, don't they? I mean, that's the kind of the creative fun sits on the outside. All right. There we go. What does that say? Sorry, I missed that one. Oh, thanks, Saul Paul. Appreciate that, brother. But, you know, next season of life, man. I adore Sammy. I really miss doing radio with him. He's an absolute trooper. But it was time for me to be gone, bud. It was time for me to be out of hope. And as much as I miss it and love it, I think it's time for the next season, whatever that is, man. So, and right now, it's, you know, back doing pastoral ministry with a church that kind of needed my help. And I thought that's where I needed to be. And I was praying on it, and so that's where I am. But I appreciate you, man. That was a really wonderful season on radio, and I did thoroughly enjoy my time with that breakfast crew. They are an incredible bunch of people. Ali and Sam are still some of my closest friends, and I miss them. It's probably also one of the reasons, by the way, that that I haven't done a whole bunch of radio content or anything else, is because I'm so used to doing it with Sammy. What's that one from? Sorry, I just got a new text from Yikes Factory. Life is sweet, man. And I do feel good with God. Appreciate that. Just kind of plugging my way through the next season, you know? And I think sometimes, one of the challenges is that, like, you know, obviously when you're doing radio, it's really clear what you're doing. And you've got a very, very strong, clear identity. There's a little bit of, you know, celebrityness in there, which is always kind of nice. It's not something that I kind of want to indulge in. But when that season ends, then you kind of do feel for a bit lost, you know, and you're just trying to figure out the next season, but that's okay. I got a new problem is, Saul, and this comes back to the working with Sammy thing. Working with Sammy was so easy and good. When I put my hands to stuff right now, it feels very pantomime. So I've been doing a podcast with my daughter called Lesser Known Unreal Animals, and that's been a lot of fun, but we haven't done much on that front for a while. And part of the problem is that every time I sit down to do something in terms of a podcast, it doesn't quite feel right. And I don't want to just do it for the sake of doing it. I want to do something that I really love and enjoy. And so I know a lot of people are like, what's the content? What's the next thing coming out? And it's like, I just don't know what that is yet, Saul. So, yeah, Charles, you know it. So there's, in Scripture, there's this moment where Paul longs to be with the church again. But the truth is that he's kind of into the next season. And so I think he kind of laments those friendships, which were really important. But you also kind of acknowledge that you've moved into a new season. And so that's probably the challenge of life, right? Like, is that, man, there's days when you wake up and you just wish you were 20 again, but I'm like 42. And so you're like, okay, well, that was a season that I miss, but I can't lament in the fact of all the things that I'm missing. I've got to just move on, right? And prepare myself for the next season. And I certainly look back on this season with hope, with a lot of fondness. There's some really incredible moments and celebrations. Makes my LinkedIn profile look really good. But it's like it was time for it to be done. And I don't ever know if I was ever going to be like a full-time, long-term radio guy. As much as I love it, I just feel like there was some stuff about radio that was kind of a bit broken, and I don't think I was ever going to see perfectly eye to eye with it. And so it was just like, oh, okay, well, maybe it's just time to be done. So I can be an agent of change, and sometimes when that's not well received, it can just be abrasive. And I've just learnt later in life not to do that. So, yeah. All right. Well, we're cracking along here. Almost done with bag one. I'm kind of getting into the big bits after this, I think. So, hello, Lozzie. Hello, Deb. Thank you for joining. Hope you guys are doing well. We are building a TIE Fighter. Yeah. And chatting, because we've got nothing else to do. So, are you guys in lockdown in Sydney? Is that where you are? Checking out with the latest Gladys update? So there's a funny thing going here in Sydney right now. That the Premier makes an announcement every day at like 11, and people are betting on outfits and cases. Has everyone seen this? And so the comment section on Facebook during our announcements are all these kind of, plaid shirt 38 cases, and everyone's got a guess. It provides for an amusing addition. Oh, thanks, Lozzie. I appreciate that. Here we go. It's going along well. This is a problem. I'm in awe of Twitch streamers and stuff because I lose immediately location of what I'm building, and these guys can play a competitive game and talk to people is just incredible. Whereas I'm like, I lose place with where I'm at. Yeah, if you go on Facebook, seriously, every time, so 11 o'clock, I think it is, there's all these people guessing what outfit she's going to wear. It's very funny. So, Gladys, you're doing a great job. But it is, I would imagine, very challenging what you are doing. Does that go up higher? Here we go. I had those slightly wrong. Anyway. Any other questions, comments, thoughts? This is obviously very different from the breakfast show because I'm just hanging out and chatting. So it probably doesn't have the same amount of dynamic energy that you're used to, which would be unsustainable in a 1 hour stream. Boom, boom. Look at that bad boy. Okay, on that page. Put this down. Now we're going to build the top, the hatch. So the sails were on, and the are you enjoying this season where you don't exactly know what is next? I think the unknown is always really challenging, Mel. I think this is what I was saying before. It was really easy when you were doing radio to know exactly what your job was, and that job carried a really, clear and significant value that was regularly communicated day in, day out. And so the battle was more about ego than anything. In this season, I haven't particularly minded the drift into obscurity. Like it's been okay. It's kind of felt like, yeah, okay, let's just take a break from really being, for want of a better word, like a public spectacle. But yeah, it does make it challenging when you're kind of like, what's my purpose? Where am I going? What am I trying to achieve? And truthfully, I feel like that's probably a conversation that a lot of people are having. And certainly, I've been back in the pastor space for a while, for about 6 months now. And you get that sense talking to people that that's a big question that everyone has, is that like am I, is this what I'm meant to do? And especially the difference, like a 25-year-old person who doesn't know what they want to do, I mean, you could have like 4 career changes and figure it out. You're fine. An 18-year-old who doesn't know what they want to do, it's like laughable. Like just try anything and have a good time. But I feel like 40, there's a wife, there's kids, there's mortgage, there's a lot going on. And so you feel like you should have it dialed in. And plus that 40 to 50 range is probably where you're trying to be, a pinnacle success of whatever field you're in. And I'm going, am I doing another career change here? But I was talking to a 50-year-old buddy of mine who was just saying, it's all right, you'll figure it out. And it's not that bad. So I just kind of sit in that. And anytime I kind of doubt that, I just push back in prayer and chill out and take a moment and then go, okay, no, it's going to be fine. We'll get through this. It'll be good. So hopefully that answered your question. Mel, I don't know. I'm just giving you real answers. There's no point in giving you pretend answers. I don't like it all the time, by the way. Sometimes it really sucks. Yeah. All right. Home stretch for bag 1. This one goes inside, I think. Hello, Luca. What have we got going on over here? Sorry, I'm just checking Twitch as well. We're dual screening right now, Oh, I'm glad that resonated. My recommendation is if you're a teenager, don't worry about it. Just try something. If you're in your 20s, don't worry about it. Just try something. But I feel like I should, sometimes I just feel like I should have a clearer plan for life. But there is something nice in kind of just serendipitously taking it as it happens. There's a passage about birds and not knowing where things are going to come from, and they're just living in the moment. And sometimes I think you need to push in on that. I mean, how many times has your 5-year plan actually become your 5-year plan? For me, not very often. And then there's all these moments when people are like, you should get into radio, you should get into radio. And you're like, oh, I don't even know how to do that. And then God opens a doorway to see that happen. And you're like, wow, that was pretty amazing. So, yeah, worry does cause stress. There's plenty you could worry about. But there's far less that you can actually proactively change. You know? And it's the things that you can proactively change are the things that you should throw your energy into. That's why Lego is so good. You could worry about anything, but you know what I can proactively change when I'm building Lego? Is the Lego. And by following the instructions and taking my time, the plan starts to unfold. And what looked like a bunch of grey bricks with the occasional red one in there starts to become more and more visible. You know? Very, very cool. There we go. I think sometimes too, like when you're like, oh, trust God, you're right, Saul. It is a lot easier to say than it is to do. That's that kind of idea of a faith of a mustard seed, right? There we go. Anyway, keep the questions coming if you've got any more. Feels like good conversation, really. All right. Close to the end. Just putting the grills on. Some mad grills. There we go. And now I think we're doing a final hatch now. There we go. Bang. Here we go. Last little bits. I don't know. Yikes Factory is still in the chat over there. Here we go. This is the last little bit, I think, and then we're done with bag one. Boom. It's like a hatch to a hatch. And then we pop this on. There is our TIE Fighter cockpit. Boom. How good is that? All right. I think I'm going to jump off the Instagram chat. But if you do want to follow along, we are going to continue to stream on Twitch. So I don't know if you're on Twitch, but the tag is Ultra Robo. So we're going to jump off here. I'll put it in the chat. I'll pop it down here. On Twitch for the rest of the build, which is Ultra Robo. That's my tag. Because we're just chatting over here and I'm getting confused. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Bye. All right, guys. Charles, you're with me, you know. All right. I'm just sorry. I'm just updating this now. There we go. We're on to bag 2, which I think is going to be a wing. For sure. This looks like all the wing materials. I feel like I missed a step. That actually clicks on the backside. There we go. Sorted. Bag 2. We are definitely building the left wing here. Oh, a couple of people jump over from Insta onto Twitch. Good to see you. Just hanging out, chatting here. I honestly don't stream a whole bunch of my gameplay. Not on purpose. I'm just not very good. So I end up coming here to Twitch to chat. But I am a bit of a Destiny gamer. That's my game of choice. Which also seems to be the game of choice for most dads. I've decided. Not that I've decided, but we all seem to be on the same page about it. All right. And I need the helmet. We've got a droid. A droid to go with our other minifig. So there and there. And that's our build so far. Just making sure everything's in shot. Brilliant. Okay. Let's crack on. Bag 2. Black piece. And then we also need that. That. Okay. Missed a page. It's really dangerous when you miss a page, by the way. Because then you realize, why isn't that sticking anywhere? And the reason is because you missed an entire 4 steps. There they are. That one's even too big. And that one is better. All right, here we go. Cracking on. Feel free to chat in the text. I just, I'm checking it, looking back here. I guess I could also bring up the chat window here, couldn't I? On my phone. I forget how to do it. Twitch. Saves me looking over there. There we go. Now I got my chat window open. I can see anytime. Hit me up in the chat. Now I can actually look here and here. We are building the wing, step 60 of the TIE Fighter. And we are just putting together the first parts of the wing, which will go on our cockpit, which is right here. So there we go. There's one. And we're going to put on a grey part. Goes there. And then it's got a flat part in the middle. 3 simultaneous viewers. Woo! This is almost as big as the one we had with Ruby, where we had 4 simultaneous viewers. Gosh, if you all make a comment in the chat room, then I think I get a tick for affiliate. Goodness gracious me. Oh, that goes there. And then we add the top part on. There we go. Boom. Sorted. The nice thing is that we now officially off a lot of grey, and now we're moving on to a lot of black. The monochromatic fun continues. Do 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 do. All right, backside is on. Now we're going to put in that and that. Giddy up. And then we're going to put on this part. Put on this part. Now we're in the biz. Look at that. Okay. Corner piece. And corner piece. Sorted. Seriously though, if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts, leave them in the chat. Let's talk about it. I feel like in these new mediums, I should, you should introduce yourself. Be like, hello, I'm Duncan. I used to be on breakfast radio, and now I build Lego in my pajamas. They are Alex Liddy bowls, and I think we bought them at like David Jones in 2006. So good luck finding them. But I do love them for Lego building. Put that down there, and then I'm guessing we're building the exact same thing again. Here we go. I feel like what I could do is just build full-time Star Wars Lego. If we were talking earlier about calling, if you could pigeonhole me into a future job, it would be full-time builder of Star Wars Lego. I don't know if that fits as a job description for anywhere, but it would certainly be a role that I would happily push in on. I just have to get into the habit of standing up and moving about. Old back, doesn't cope well with sitting down, even in my fancy gamer chair. There we go. Like that. This is where we're at. What I love about the Star Wars ones too is that they're so detailed. And I was saying this before on the when we were on Instagram as well, is that there's just these little tiny details that when you're building it, you're like, that's rad. Lego Master Builder. Well, there's only one of those in Australia, and that's Ryan Brickman McNaught, isn't it? He's the man. That's it. I think there's only allowed to be one master Lego builder per continent. You know too that Hamish is moving in on that territory. And that man Hamish has a little bit more celebrity clout than I do. So I'll happily do it in this environment. All right, here we go. We've almost got the second half of the wing together. This is great. These things kind of really start to come together, I feel, quickly. you know, like you get into the rhythm, you're basically building the same thing in reverse. And so you're like, yep, I know what I'm doing here. It's a wing. This is when you find out if you actually pick the right pieces. There we go, sorted. Put that off to the side, and now we go on to building the next part. Which is more of the wing. I am building more of the wing, more of the wing, more of the wing. This one. I'm guessing it's this one. Looks like it's this one. 3 out. Okay. Got it. Is that right? No. Got that one in the wrong spot. There we go. Someone commented on this the other day. It was like, it's very slow what you're doing. I'm like, well, I can't really speed it up, can I? I'm building Lego. Like it's meant to be slow. What's the problem with being slow? Like you just chill out and focus on one thing. That's what I'm trying to do. Very slow, please. Closer. I've got to build that again. I missed the ×2 team. Apologies. Should have known. Rookie error. Yeah, I know. Why would you build Lego fast? Could I also point out too, like there's a reason why like comedy shows only go for an hour, because sustaining that level of crazy is exhausting. You know, like Brekkie Radio, it was 3-minute bursts. And then there was a 3-minute song in between. It's like, ugh, I couldn't imagine doing that on like Twitch streaming for hours. I'd be a pool of sweat. I'd probably lose all this Udi weight that I'm carrying though right now. But you can't see it because it's protected under a sea of shiny Cookie Monster fur. My daughter was very upset that I bought a very plain Udi, by the way. And I was like, or I could be just dressing like the Cookie Monster. And then she realized it was a rad Udi. And I was like, yeah, that's right. Cookie Monster. All right, here we go. Boom. We have a TIE Fighter wing, and now we're just going to have to wrap the outside of it in grey, because that's what it wants us to do. Imagine if they made like gym hoodies to help aid you with your workout. There is gym hoodie, a Judy. My son has the Grogu one. It's so good. Big fan. All right, here we go. I saw there was a blue one as well, which looked pretty rad. All right, we're cracking on here. I started to focus in, you know, make sure we get this wing done. Here we go. All right, now we put on some of the greys. 1, 2. Like that? It does hang off the edge. Okay, all right. Not arguing. So it looks like we're making the grey X that kind of radiates out from the middle. And we've got some kind of interesting connection points. It's always kind of very impressed by what Lego does. Whoever invented it, genius. I should know the answer to that question because this is a Lego streaming channel, but I don't. Boom. And then we flip it over. And we're adding pieces to the back. Just want to say too, I'm very impressed with the Twitch streaming platform connectivity and all the features that it's got, because it's like, it's incredible. I get updates here, updates there. I've got it in 7-second delay just because I can. Which is probably also why it take a little bit of time to get back to you. All right, we have reinforced the wing, step 90. Now we're just going to add fiddly details for the rest of the way, which again, I like because it makes it look mint. Not the color, but, you know, tidy, fancy, high end. Boom. Sorted. Now what are we doing? Oh, I've got to put those bits on too. Almost forgot. Flip it over, pop this in the middle, which is our TIE Fighter connection. That's the wing connection. It's got the four bits in the middle, and then we're going to reinforce this into place, it looks like. Goodness gracious me. Reinforced. Flip it over again. We're going to add more details on the front. That part. All right, now we do the bits that wrap around. Excellent. And then we're going to add in these bits. Nice. All right. home stretch on the first wing. Very happy about this build, mainly because it's Star Wars. Snap, snap, snap. I do build things a little bit out of order because I pick up on where I forgot to do something. There we go. So, snap this in. Snap this in. There's one wing. There's two wings. There we go. And there is our TIE Fighter wing, which we can attach to our TIE Fighter. Sick. How good is that? Love it. I think I'm going to save the last wing to build with the kiddos. All right? So I'm going to end this stream here. And then we'll pick it up a little bit later on with the kids. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Love it. Get into some Lego. Lots of fun. I'll see you again soon.